We are back. We're back. Believe it or not. We are back. Yes. 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 Guess who's back? Back again. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff. Me, Ryan McGuffey, back in the studio, in the States, fresh off a Bahamian vacation, and reality smokes you right in the face as we are back. It's the most clothes I've worn in a week. Yeah, I know. No one wants to hear that. But it's good to be back with you guys. It is the Recap Lunch Hour with me, Ryan McGuffey. I miss all of you. I know I only did one last week. It was last Monday. I was with you last Monday. Ray, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you guys. I didn't do one on New Year's Eve. I know I didn't come flying in after the New Year either. It got a little hectic down there. And so I apologize, but it's good to take a reset. There wasn't, with the holiday week, it was tough. And, look, there's plenty to discuss now that the NFL season's over. Clyde, my guy, my vacation was fantastic. It really was. There's no such thing as unplugging, but I came pretty damn close to it. William, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Jess, welcome back. Yes, happy to finally have a Bears win, even if it's at the end of the year. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. The Bears get a ridiculous walk-off win when it looked like the script had flipped right back to what we had seen the entire time throughout the 2024 season, and they get the last laugh. Eric, hey, Guff, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Eric. Great win by the Bears yesterday. Question for you, since the season is now over, who do I want as the next Bears head coach and why? And Erica, Happy New Year. Absolutely, same to you. Who do I want as the next head coach? I want Mike Vrabel. I don't feel like that's happening. I feel like it looks like Vrabel's probably going to go to New England. They made the decision last night after the game. As soon as the game went final, we found out Gerard Mara was fired in New England. The comments are pouring in, guys. Emiliano, love it. Let's hire Ben the Pen Johnson. Enough games. I like polls, but if he's the difference maker, let the Pen pick his boy at GM. Also, we should have tanked. Okay, we kind of did tank, whether it was purposely or not. For what? I mean, look, the Bears are finishing with the top 10 pick. I will get you with their NFL Tankathon. The Bears have I believe it's the 9th. They have the 10th. The win got them the 10th pick. So the win cost them a shot at the 7th pick. So you can be mad about it or not. To win that game yesterday, look, there was a lot. I loved it because of how Caleb led the team down the field. I think it was important for how to go into the offseason for that player specifically, that it happened that way. David, what's up, man? Welcome back to paradise. Absolutely. Happy New Year to you. Yeah, left paradise for our paradise after real Phil Sims. Welcome back, Guff. Since the season is over, what will the Bears do as far as coach? They better not mess this up. They can't. They can't mess it up. Ryan Poles can't mess this up. This is his last shot otherwise. He can't mess it up. It seems to me like Ben Johnson might be the front runner here. It very much feels like an offensive coach. Look, there's being names, and I'm getting my phone out here because the Bears have been tied to a lot of names today. A ton. I know they have formally asked for permission for both Lions coordinators, including Aaron Glenn, who put on a clinic last night, by the way. That was an absolute clinic. Andrew, now at the Bears season, I feel like I just started vacation. Yeah, look, we're all ecstatic that it's over. But I'm actually seriously happy Caleb Williams at the podium now. I'm very happy that the season's over and that we can actually start talking about real head coaching candidates. Just saying doesn't look like Vrabel. Yeah, Kraft. If Vrabel's the guy, they're good for Kraft for saying, like, I've identified my guy. I've admitted the problem firing the guy I picked last year. Let's go get the hot candidate. Now, Vrabel is going to interview with the Bears. So I do think that, like, nothing until there's pen to paper, the coaching, he's not going anywhere. But I do think he's going to New England. Erica, let that be the moment that turns tide in the Bears. I hope. Keep in mind who the Packers were trotting out there, their second and third stringers, and they almost got the job done. Rather pick 7th and 10th. I know. Look, dude, I'd rather have a flipping head coach. Honestly, I'd rather have a culture changer at head coach than the 7th pick in the draft. So if that chaps your ass, I get it. But, I would have probably rather had the 7th pick too, but it's nice. If it were any other team but the Packers, I'd probably agree with you. Best head coach available. Absolute. Like, best head coach available and that suits your – like, I think you can go 2 for 2 here. I really do. I think you can go 2 for 2. Jess, he's actually meeting the media. I think the Bears stream it. If you go to the Bears Twitter account or if you go online to bears.com, he did just meet the media about 20 minutes ago. So he might still be talking. Yeah, I got it right here. That's Thomas Brown. Let's see, Caleb. Yeah, Caleb met the media about 20 minutes ago. You can find that. Ben Johnson or Flores, says Christopher. Both guys will be in the building. I'm very curious as to these staffs, like what their coaching staffs are going to look like. There was some talk this morning on Cap and Jay Hood about, having a bunch of former players on the Lions staff, and people were critical of that. It's the one thing I've been talking about here for well over a month and a half, and I've been saying it for a long time. Look at go up and down that coaching staff and see who they got. I love it. I love all the former players. Why are we wasting time on Cards OC, Giants OC, Dolphins OC? It's so dumb. I don't disagree with you. Some of this stinks of Kevin Warren to me. But, look, you don't always need – like the best head coach doesn't always come from the best team. Fact. I'm okay with bringing in as many people as possible. I like the idea in the building of having your finalist list, like your list that you think, these are the guys that if we were narrowing it down to 3 to 5 right now, it would be these 3 to 5. But you have the opportunity to go out there and interview people without waiting for playoff schedules, et cetera. And why not get as much information as possible? That's where I'd be. Is Vrabel still available? He's still available technically. I think Vrabel, Ben Johnson. I love the culture of Vrabel. We've been talking about this. Ben Johnson's running laps around everybody offensively. Is he a good leader in the room? We don't know. It looks like Matt Nagy's going to be one of the guys in New Orleans. Like Matt Nagy's probably getting a job again. Obviously, it won't be here. But I love you, Phil. Thinking about the baseball season here. Any news on the Cubs? Free agents are still out there. They have holes to fill. Sign Alonso. Move Michael Bush to third. Pick up Flaherty, Kirby. That's all you want. That should be actually something that they should consider. I'll be at Cubs convention on the 18th. I'll be doing Inside the Clubhouse with Bruce Levine that morning, live from Cubs convention on the 18th. So stop by, say hi. Maybe we can figure out if the Cubs have made any moves by then. What about Gruden? Chris, I don't think Gruden's getting a job in this cycle. I think he's still too, quote unquote, toxic for a lot of people, or canceled, however you want to put it. I know that might bug you, rub you the wrong way, but I don't think, especially this franchise, I don't think this franchise is going to make some kind of brash, bold move, bringing John Gruden back after the way he exited in Las Vegas. Abe Lincoln, back from the dead. Good to have you on the REKAP Lunch Hour. My name is McCaskey, and my pick is to hire the cheapest coordinator for head coach. Is Eberflus still available? I think that's the frustration here, Abe, is that a lot of people have PTSD from the way this has been going. I get it 100%. Totally get it. And I understand why you would have reservations about this whole thing. You're welcome, Jess, anytime. Andrew, Vrabel would turn the culture around the quickest, and he's had some success already, so he's the most proven. He's probably the most proven. I'm trying to think real quick. He's probably the most proven. It's funny. I know the Jets are interviewing Rex Ryan. People would be like, oh, like he's pretty proven. I'm okay with bringing in a proven guy like that. Again, why not interview? Listen to what I'm saying here. Interview a guy like Rex Ryan. Get the information and put it into the blender when you're looking for your guy. Probably doesn't make sense to get him here, but listen to what I'm saying. Swayze says hard pass on Flores, Brady, and Johnson at the top. So Joe Brady and Ben Johnson at the top of Swayze's list. The Bills just keep on winning with Joe Brady as coordinator. Don't count yesterday because it didn't really matter. But Brian Flores, a hard pass on. I'm guessing that's because of what happened in Miami. I think he's going to possibly get a job here. I really do. Vrabel is heading to New England. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we all know that it seems to be that. But until he's there, until he's there, nothing is done officially. I'm looking here on Twitter just to make sure there's no up to the minute news here. Here, Caleb, I think I was coached well for the task at hand. That's a guy not throwing anybody under the bus right there. It's like look at the Jets. So the Jets have already interviewed Mike Vrabel, have already interviewed Ron Rivera. They have Rex Ryan, Brian Flores, Josh McCown, Joe Brady, Matt Nagy, Arthur Smith, Brian Greasy, Aaron Glenn, Vance Joseph, and Bobby Slowick on their list. That's what I'm telling you in terms of why not bring as many guys in to interview. Yes, Emiliano, thank you. Pete Carroll was the name I was trying to think of. Pete Carroll, the most proven out there. A lot of people going with the ageism on that one, but I would definitely bring Pete Carroll into the room for an interview. I really, really would. I would even consider him making him some kind of head coach, assistant head coach to the head coach. I know, make up a title. I'm not kidding. Make up a title for a guy like that and see if there is something that you can get him in the building with. I'm just looking here. The Jets have got Brian Greasy. How about Brian Greasy as a head coach? I didn't even think about that. That would be, I know I've already said his name, but I'm just going through the list here of Adam Schefter, Jets, Bears, and Saints, Aaron Glenn. Obviously, my guy Joe Shane is staying in New York. That's got a lot of people shocked. We have an opening in Jacksonville. The Bears, by far, as of right now, not a lot of jobs available. I expected a little bit more movement today. Young thinks we need to hire Cliff Kingsbury. What's up, Young? I don't agree with that. I would probably interview him. Again, the Bears interviewed him for this job or for the OC job a year ago and past. That's not the route I would be going. I've seen enough from the CEO in college and in the NFL to think that he might be a better suited offensive coordinator. Thomas going, I like this. Eagles or Lions versus Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens. Okay, this is easy. Absolutely the Lions. Screw the Eagles. I've seen enough. I don't want the Eagles. I don't like the Eagles. I know NFC North. I'm all in on a Lions-Bills Super Bowl, to be honest with you. First off, it'd be a first-time winner. It's just there's a lot to love. I've already said here on this show that I'm adopting the Buffalo Bills until further notice as my team. I'll keep it classy and stay in the AFC, although I would not be mad if Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions were hoisting that trophy. I would not. It would not bother me at all. I think it'd be really cool. Now, if you're telling me, do I want this cycle to continue year after year after year with the Lions? No, but I'm totally okay. Detroit has had enough losing. Not that we haven't had enough losing here, but they've never had anything. Happy New Year to you, Young, as well. I know, Kevin, that is a thing for me. The Joe Brady connects the dots to Trace Armstrong. Don't love that. And it's not Joe Brady's fault. Not to say that Joe Brady could be a great head coach. I'm trying to get away from what has not worked. That has not worked. David, what are Poles' expectations for next season? He's got the 10th pick, hiring process for a new head coach, offensive coordinator, free agency, on and on and on. I can't stomach anything less than getting past the division round next season. What are the thoughts? They have to be a playoff team next year with a new head coach. That's a fact. They have to be, in my opinion, they have to be at least a 9-win team. They have to be going into this final week of the year in the hunt, with scenarios. That's the way I look at it. If Mike, that's the Kevin Warren part I'm worried about. I don't want an out of left field pick here. I don't. No, it wouldn't. You got to think about no brain. I think Anthony Weaver's more of a no-brainer for this franchise. I'm just glad Derrick Rose isn't limping into his business meetings. Oh, you know what? What a cool. I saw it from afar on social. Obviously, the Bahamas doesn't carry Bulls games. Neither does Chicago. But hopefully that gets done soon. Very cool. The D-Rose celebration weekend was awesome. I love the video. The retirement of next year's jersey. That's a debate. It's got some people really worked up. I don't understand. it's just not that big of a deal. But okay, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very sincere. I love the emotion that D Rose showed. There's some fighting going on about hiring the Dolphins D coordinator between Clyde and Mike and Swayze. Guys, let's all get along, okay? Let's all get along. Mike flews past and Kingsbury because he didn't want Kingsbury to replace him and take it. That is a true story. That is a true story. That doesn't mean he should be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. It doesn't. Getting a little snack in here on the lunch hour because why not? It doesn't. You don't get a job because another guy felt threatened by you. He has previous head coaching experience, which I do like. All right, Young. So that's not happening. So we're going to have to live with this decision. If we're sitting here a year from now going through the same crap, yeah, Ryan Poles is gone. I would absolutely interview David. You're asking me if I would interview Joe Brady? 1,000%. He's worked with Josh Allen. That team, since he took over as OC, is like 21-3 or something like that. 21-4. It's insane. A lot of people thought Dan Quinn would be a mistake to hire as head coach again. The second chance has been great for him. I totally would be open to player. I'm open to Brian Flores too. I'm open to. I think I really think Matt Nagy's going to be a really good head coach in the NFL. I do. I think that's a guy that took his lumps here. By the way, he was 34-30 as a Bears head coach, and we ran him out of town. 34 wins. The Bears have had 15 wins in 4 years? 3 years? Come on, man. 34 wins. I think he's going to get a job. I think he's going to be successful again because I think he understands what works and what doesn't in this league. Jess, I think there will be movement as the week goes on, no doubt. My guess is that teams are making calls to see who's available before they fire their current coaches. So teams that have a playoff bye, so the Lions and the Chiefs, anybody in those teams could do interviews up until Saturday, I believe, and those can be done via Zoom. You don't have to have the person come in to your facility. You can have those interviews done by Saturday at noon via Zoom. Then you have to wait again. Bills or Ravens winning would be fantastic. I'm not sure about the Ravens. For me, it's the Ravens have won Super Bowls before, so I would love if the Bills won. Although Lamar Jackson's one hell of a good player. You guys arguing about the Miami defensive coordinator being part of the interviews. Top 8, pretty good. Get them all in the building. Let's go. Swayze, let's go. We'll ride together. Anthony Weaver came from Baltimore to Miami. That doesn't excite me, Mike, and I think I know. I don't think it excites you either. But let's let the process happen. Let's see how this goes before we sit here and go, this can't happen. This sucks. Let's fire him. We can't do this. This is going to be can't let Ryan Poles do this. Pump the brakes. Get all the good names in the hopper. Get them in the interview room, and let's go. Sanitas, Happy New Year to you, my man. How much of Flores' pass would be a red flag for George? I mean, all of these guys that have had experience were fired for a reason. So I think it's a red flag, but listen to what other people around, when you look at, it's hard for me to call you Tom, but I'm going to. Look at what did Mike Tomlin say about Flores? He's the best coach in the NFL that's not a head coach. It's a pretty good source, pretty good recommendation coming from that guy. Obviously, Kevin O'Connell has said very much of the same. So, look at what do you guys want to know? You want me to do this fighting with you? Dolphins, NFL defensive ranks. I will do this for you guys if you need me to do the total defense. The Miami Dolphins were up the track in yards per game, way up the track. They were Miami Dolphins. Oh, no, they weren't. They were 4th in the NFL in yards a game. 4th in the NFL in points allowed per game. They were just below the Bears, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Better than a lot of people are arguing on here. I'll put it that way. My vacation was kick-ass, Young. I wasn't drinking pina coladas. I was drinking a lot of other things, including the Calic beer that we were calling Calic. We had 27 people in our group. Rather large. Way remote. Danny, the fact that the Bears had a 10-game losing streak and only have the 10th pick is pretty wild. A lot of bad teams in the NFL, Danny. Bears didn't really hold any of the tiebreakers even before the losing streak. It is pretty wild, but to be honest with, they're not that far off. I mean, you had 3 3-win teams, 3 4-win teams, 4 5-win teams. What's pretty wild is that the Bears were 4-2 at one point this season. Lou chiming in with what we were saying earlier. We ain't getting Vrabel. We ain't getting Johnson because management values the GM who has fielded 2 of the worst teams in team history of our coach that wants to name his own GM. It'll be Coach Flo, and it will be a disaster. Lou going with the negative talk, which because he's got PTSD, and I get it. I don't think any of this can be ruled out. First of all, I love the idea of Ben Johnson. Again, I have no idea I have no idea, and nobody on here does either. If he can lead a room, if he can be the head coach. Not one person does. I'm not saying he can't be, and I'd be ecstatic if they hired him. I would be. Just the creativity alone would just get me going. I would be a little you're not going to tell me what to do in terms of I'm going to hire my own GM. I know that in some cases, some guys, they do hold every card. I'm not going to hand the keys over to Ben Johnson. I'm not. I understand people are pissed about Ryan still having a job, but look what's happening around the NFL today. The Jacksonville Jaguars kept their GM. The New York Giants kept their GM. People want fluidity. Listen to what Bears players were saying about keeping quote unquote status quo in some ways, because when you clean out and when you clean house, you are starting from the bottom. And that includes your strength and support staff, your dietitians, your cooks. The entire staff gets completely cleaned out and recycled. Doesn't mean it's right to not fire somebody because of it. The Bears should be in position to be a playoff team next year. Think about what I just said. Their offensive line sucks. Their defensive line sucks. And they could be a playoff team next year. Ben Johnson or Pete Carroll. Mike, I would I don't hate either one of those. You guys know I like the Pete Carroll idea. I'm definitely, if the Bears don't bring him in, I mean, to me, it's almost malpractice. He's one of the best culture guys of all time. But I want to stop hearing that damn buzzword if you're not going to address it. Anyone that the McCaskies don't want, that's the coach we need to hire. Kevin, you're on very similar to what Lou was saying right there. My 2025 wish list. Have CHSN finally negotiate with Hulu so I can watch the games again. I don't think that's happening, Jess. I'm sorry. It doesn't seem like Hulu or YouTube want to be in the business of RSNs. It doesn't. It sounds like Xfinity is your best bet to get a deal done, but not saying it's out. I'm not privy to every conversation what's going on with CHSN, but I will say it's January 6th of 2025, which is also freaky. Christmas came and went. It feels like a month ago already. Obviously, I've been all over the place, so it definitely feels like that. But it's 2025, and we don't have a deal. We still can't watch CHSN normally. It just sucks. So I like that wish list, Jess. I just don't know if it's realistic. When is the Cap and Guff show coming on ESPN 1000? Coming in 2025. Young, appreciate that. You got to get Danny Zetterman on board with that. I'm a Harbaugh fan, says Russ. Go Chargers. There we go, Russ. Find your team, man. Find your team in the playoffs, and let's go. I love the Chargers. A sneaky road dog at -2.5 on Saturday. Kind of like it. My early lean and my bet of the day, which that's coming up. We're trying finally to get to damn 500. Did have an easy hit on the Jameson Williams over I gave you last week. Mike's not a Kingsbury guy, but what he did in Washington is real good work. It is, but he had great the entire staff around him is really good. No beef, just want the culture to change. Agreed. But I want to say I'm not getting Cap on FaceTime today yet, Young. We're just getting back in our rhythm. It's 2025. No FaceTime for Cap today. I got Katie in the office, which for me is a big win because I haven't seen her in like 3 flipping weeks other than FaceTime. So that's a win. So I'm looking forward to, once I sign off, seeing her. So no FaceTime for Cap today. I like Flores. However, Guffey had more OCs than Flus in 3 years. He would have to be a perfect plan for Cap. Whoever the coach is, regardless of the offensive or defensive side, to me, has to be perfect for Caleb. Period. If I got food poisoning at a restaurant, I'd never go back there. Just saying, the hell is that reference to? Russ, what are we talking about here? Did I miss a conversation about you guys having food poisoning? No fighting, Guff, just a friendly wager. All right, I'll wager. Whatever. I might be missing a side convo going. Emiliano wants Ben Johnson 1, Joe Brady 2, Pete Carroll 3, Mike Vrabel 4, Liam Cohen 5. I would flip that. I'd go Vrabel 1, Pete Carroll 1A, Ben Johnson 3. That'd be my pedestal. And then from there, I think it would drop a little bit. It's a bear move. We all know it. Except for Ian Cunningham. There's people like, why do the Bears hire Ian Cunningham? Good luck. I mean, again, Ryan Poles is staying. Like it or love it, hate it. I know. Mike, okay, so you guys are talking about Weaver. Not arguing, I think. Jess, yeah, there should be no arguing in the lunch hour. We want it's a community. I want nothing but love in this room, man. Come on. Jess, give me Josh Allen versus Jared Goff. Jess, you and I are on the same page here. I'm in for your Super Bowl, but I do want the Ravens versus Chargers again for divisional game. Okay, I'll take that. That Ravens, by the way, that also feels like a very boring game. The Ravens Chargers. I know we saw it earlier in the year, the Harbaugh Bowl, but when what's that say? When the Chargers got Harbaugh, I got season tickets. Oh wow, good for you, Russ. Are you coming in from LA here? D-man, I feel that Ryan Poles missed the opportunity to get the correct head coach in Harbaugh. Poles repeated the same terrible history. I understand the low expectations. It was an arranged marriage. That's what I keep saying about the Eberflus situation. No fighting if the Bears brass would have swallowed their pride and hired Harbaugh. Guys, we got to move on from that. Unfortunately, we have to move on from Jim Harbaugh, whether like it or love it. D-man, Ben Johnson is the most qualified to lead Caleb to greatness. All they need is talented trenches. That's all they need is 4 new offensive linemen and then 3 new defensive linemen. Besides that, we should be in good shape. It definitely does, man. He loves to run the football. He has a great quarterback, plays good defense. Just old-fashioned power football. I love it. Poles looking to interview Vance Joseph as well. We know how his first go-around as head coach went. I'm not judging people on their first go-around as head coaches because if that were the case, there are people who didn't want to hire Dan Quinn because of the Super Bowl loss. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, they blew 28-3 lead. But does that mean he's unqualified to be a head coach again? Come on, man. I think, if Matt Nagy gets a job, I'll be ecstatic for him. I really will be. Pete is watching. It's too much of a personality. This personality thing, I want my coach. If your football coach doesn't have a personality, I'm being serious about this, then you shouldn't own a football team. You certainly shouldn't be hiring a guy to be your head coach in the NFL if you don't have a personality. Eberflus will probably get a DC job. Russ is hoping that's in Cincinnati. We'll see. Thomas, bear down. Who else scared their dog yelling at the end of the game last night? I see. This is where I'm like, come on, poop doing himself in the Southeast. We're doing the ages and think that guy's got more energy than most of us in this room right now. It's just a fact. Jacksonville's the best fit for Ben Johnson. They kept their GM. Is that a flag? Keep in mind, they kept their GM. All this, he wants to bring his own GM. You're a head coach, dude. I'm telling you, man. Or there's not as much turnover in the GM department as everyone thought. Dr. Guff, for the love of God, what was Warren been doing since the firing of Flus? He's in the locker room yesterday. Did you see him in the clip? Vrabel to the Patriots, Johnson to the Jaguars. Why trash Bears will bypass these guys and end up hiring a no-name? I appreciate all of you that are down that dark road right now, thinking, why should we believe this? These people have all messed up. I get it. And part of me is down that road with you. But I'm also going to come back to the fork in the road that we're sitting on right now and say, let me watch who comes into the room. Let me see who's eliminated. We know Poles is staying because the Bears have already said that he'll be leading the head coaching search, guys. That's why, Thomas. There's not like if you're sitting around waiting for Poles to be fired, and I'll eat the sandwich here. I mean, the Bears already came out and said it. Poles is already out there talking. They're making their permission, asking for permission. I don't think Flores would be another Eberflus. I don't. Yeah. Again, can he lead the room? I don't know. A lot of comments firing in here. Clyde, with all due respect here, pal, I did not get to see a lot of the Bears game due to traveling from the Bahamas. I didn't. I saw the last drive, which I thought was awesome. I saw some of the fourth quarter where the Packers were coming back, and me and my son were just like, here we go again. And all of a sudden, the Bears get the win. So that's the deal there. All right, let's get a couple more lines of business here. We got to get the bet of the day in, which I've been trying so hard to get this puppy back to a 500 prowess. We've been really killing it lately. If you've been following me here, I don't want to sit here and put the total brag in here, but we are 6-2 the last 8. And today the Bulls host the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs, I think, have a 5-game road trip. I'm going to play plot. I'm going to ride the prop train here. It sucks that I have to go. Like, I'm looking for a football game to bet tonight. That's no Monday Night Football. That's right. First time we've had that. This is going to be the sad part of the year where we start to run into just waiting on football. But it's awesome that we have the college football playoff on Thursday and Friday, then NFL Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So great. I'm going Victor Wembanyama. The dude's averaged 29 points a game the last month. I went through his game logs. He's been a freak as of late. From December to current, 29 points a game. It's 27.5 tonight. I think it's a bad matchup for Vooch. The Bulls, obviously, I think, allow the second most points in the NBA. I'm expecting this to be a little bit of a shootout. The Spurs are 3-1 on the road as favorites. I think that they do cover that number of 3. I'm going to stay away from the game, though, and go strictly with Wembanyama's total points here. 27.5. Kobe White, I flirted with Kobe White's points and assists, but I'm going to ride the big train here of Victor Wembanyama. I think he has a big game tonight. Hopefully that gets us to 9-1, and that would be absolutely huge if we can get to 500. A couple of other here. Imagine it's Rich Kazima, dude. Scrolls is not like it. He's worried about Pete's bowel movement. All right. Yeah, he did partner with the former USC. Sounds pretty good to me. Erica was liking it. Okay, we're starting to get some people on the Cap has no interest, which is fine. The Bears released their 2025 opponents. What are your thoughts? See you in Philly. Love me some D'Alessandro's cheesesteaks. David, I looked at it. I'm always looking for, like, what would be a great game to go to on the road. I think Vegas, right? I think the Bears are going back to Vegas again. So that's always fun. I think the Niners are back. They have the Ravens, but good luck. Ravens, Bengals, Lions, Packers, Vikings, Eagles, Commanders, Niners. Is that right? That's a pretty damn hard list of. That's not an ideal list, but I don't think that's correct. Away. That's it. How about that for a road schedule? Lions, Bengals, Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Commanders, Ravens, Niners, Raiders. I was right about the Raiders. Whew. Like I said, you got to go back into some of the scenes of the crimes. You got to go back into Washington with the side of the Hail Mary. The Lions, which we always happens anyway, the side of the failed use of timeout. You got to go back to San Francisco. Bengals will be better next year. A lot going on. Maybe it's an Eberflus game. Could you imagine that? That'd be pretty cool. All right, folks. Good to be back. It's damn good to be back. In some ways, it's good to be back with you guys. It's always hard to get back and get back into the swing of things, but it is time. It's 2025. We do have a couple of things for you. Tomorrow, we will be wrapping up Feldco Football Recap Live at Hooters. So for those of you who've been asking, I think Jess was on the list. There's other people. When are you doing Hooters? Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Melrose Park. Make sure you call. Tom Waddle will be there. Alex Brown will be there. Cap will be there. I'll be there. Katie will be there. The entire crew will be there. Hooters in Melrose Park as we send off Felco Football Recap Live, the in-season edition. We are going to have a ton of off-season content coming to you throughout the off-season, but make sure you are out there tomorrow if you can be out there. Felco Football Recap Live, Cap, Alex, Tom Waddle. And then we have started our challenge, 10,000 steps a day. I got some work to do today. I already got a workout in, but Jess, great to see you. Absolutely. Hopefully you get out there tomorrow. Again, tomorrow. Try to get out there. And our 10,000 step a day challenge happens. Katie, what's the info? There's an app called Strava. Make sure you download it. Look for us here at the Recap. And the Recap team.
Well, then follow us, and I'll accept you.
If you go and follow us, we will accept you, and then you are part of the challenge, the 10,000 step a day challenge, as we try to over 3 million steps this year. I think Katie's going to put it in the chat here momentarily as we sign off. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And there's no letdown. I'll be back all week. In the chat, Katie's going to post that information about the 10,000 steps. If you're looking for something, look, the gyms are full, people. You know, that'll change in a month, as we all know, as people start to fall off and get back into their old habits. Our habits here are the same. We get after it here at the Recap. If you're looking for some change, if you want to be better in your life, we got a way to do that as a community. Katie will put that in the chat, and she just did. And you follow us, we accept, and we go from there. For our entire team here at the Recap, I'm Ryan McGuffey. This has been the Recap Lunch Hour. We will see you tomorrow.